You shot straight, but you shot late. Hi, Lim. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm going to give you the rundown.
If I may, I just want to notate or remind the court, because we see I'm new here from first appearance. My client actually is pregnant, so that's another reason why there's certain decisions.
When is she due?
She's due February 15th, 16th.
Okay.
So just for the record. Thank you.
Noted. This is the deal. Now, I'm not going to give you all, if one defendant decides they don't want to waive speedy trial, that's fine. That's absolutely right. However, we're not going to have witnesses being deposed and redeposed and brought back on anyone else's schedule. So discovery will have to be expedited, and you guys are just going to have to be ready to go. So that's just the way it is. Okay. And then if something occurs and you've already deposed a witness and a new issue has arisen and you want to go back and talk to the witness about something different that wasn't already covered, then great, we can talk about it. Maybe the state would stipulate.
I would not risk Mr. Murphy's life on trying this case in a speedy trial capacity. I would withdraw before that.
No. And Mr. Gonzalez, listen, if the state seeks death, that's a whole different ballgame. Okay. So I'm not at all would try to force you into trial under those circumstances. So this is the first time I've heard that the death penalty was even being considered for any of these defendants. One of the defendants, Miss Andrews, because she's not waiving speedy trial, that means if there's going to be discovery, it's got to get going immediately. And what I'm trying to stress is that all of the other co-defendants' attorneys are going to be noticed when these depositions are occurring. And I'm not going to allow several bites at the apple for these witnesses. So I guess I'm not making myself clear here. Okay. I'm not going to make the other three co-defendants go to trial in January. What I am saying is that I'm assuming, Miss Hurdle, are you going to participate in discovery?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm assuming there will be discovery depositions that you're going to schedule.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, and so then those dates need to be coordinated with the other three co-counsel. That's what I'm saying to you, apparently not clearly enough. What I'm saying is you guys are going to have the other three, Ms. Rayner, Mr. Petratus, Mr. Gonzalez, you all are going to have to be ready to go on starting to participate in discovery immediately.
Tampa investigators say 5 people came down from Jacksonville and worked together to follow and ultimately kill a rapper who was here celebrating his birthday. 4 of those suspects appeared in court today. Fox 13's Ariel Placencia joins us live in Tampa. And Ariel, we know authorities are still searching for the 5th suspect.
Today we learned that the state announced that it is considering the death penalty in this case, but a final decision has not been made yet on which of those defendants, if any, will be facing it. Today we learned that the state announced that it is considering the death penalty in this case, but a final decision has not been made yet on which of those defendants, if any, will be facing it.
All right, so all defendants are present, as well as their counsel and the state.
That's 4 defendants with 4 different attorneys, all appearing together in a Hillsborough County courtroom Wednesday. Rashad Murphy, Isiah Chance, Sean Gathright, and Alicia Andrews are accused of making the trip down from Jacksonville to follow and track rapper Charles Jones as he moved around Tampa to celebrate his birthday in June. Eventually, the rapper, who also goes by the name Julio Foolio, went to the Home 2 Suites near USF, where surveillance video recorded 3 shooters firing at his vehicle in the parking lot, killing him, in what investigators have described as an ongoing gang war. In court Wednesday, the attorneys described a large amount of evidence that needs to be reviewed.
Inclusive of the in excess of 300-page police report, as well as what I anticipate to be dozens of listed witnesses.
Murphy, Chance, and Gathright all waived their right to speedy trial in court Wednesday. Here's Tampa criminal defense attorney Hunter Chamberlain, who is not affiliated with this case.
Normally, you would waive your right to a speedy trial because your defense attorney needs more time to prepare.
However, Andrew's attorney told the courtroom that her client, who is pregnant, would not be waiving speedy trial. This means the state must bring her to trial sooner rather than later. A preliminary trial date was set for this coming January.
And if you don't think the case against you is very strong, then what you are doing is essentially depriving the state of time to to find witnesses, to find evidence.
Another potential strategy could be
that she will cooperate and provide information and even potentially testimony in exchange for consideration when it comes time to sentence her for whatever charges she has pled to.
Meanwhile, the state announced Wednesday that they are considering the death penalty.
Your final decision has not been made. It is going to be reviewed within the next 2 weeks, Judge.
Okay.
Now, the judge did set some preliminary dates today for those not facing the death penalty. They're expected to go to trial in December of 2025. Those who are, that would be April of 2026. We'll be back in court next month to get...
Say man, hey man, it's OG Jucario. Now I'm back at you with another one. And I had to come slide on the YouTube block about the Julio Foolio suspects that were just in court getting their preliminary trial dates ready. And as we've seen, all those suspects were in the same courtroom, had 4 different attorneys there. Each one had a different attorney, right? And the only one that's waiving the right to speedy trial happens to be Isiah Andrews, the girlfriend of Isiah, or better yet, Isiah Chance, right? Now, she's pregnant, okay? Now, in that clip that we seen on Law and Crime, okay? You have the attorney of Isiah Andrews telling the judge that she's indeed pregnant. Now, with Isiah Andrews being pregnant, that's one of the reasons I imagine they're rushing to get this trial done, right? And also, that's depriving the state of getting witnesses together and depriving them of gathering more evidence against her, right? Or whatever charges she's facing. But I assume that she's not one of the ones, her and Chance Isiah, right? I don't think they are facing the death penalty because in the actual discovery, the evidence, it labels them as not, being shooters. I'm guessing, Davion Murphy, Rashad Murphy, and, Sean Gaithright, the 3 shooters who are seen in that video actually gunning Foolio down. I'm guessing those will be the ones that are actually facing and considering, to get the death penalty for that killing of Foolio, okay? So with Isiah Andrews and her boyfriend, Isiah Chance, they might have a chance to just get some time and possibly, be free on these charges after whatever time is served, okay? So they're not in danger of losing their life behind the murder of Julio Foolio as so far. But as we know, like I said, Isiah Andrews, she waived her right to speedy trial, meaning that, they're going to trial as fast as possible. And with that happening, they're saying that, she can either cooperate and, try to get a lesser charge, lesser time for her charges that are pending against her. And that seems to be one of the things that's possibly on the table for her, being that she wasn't actually involved in the shooting. She didn't, mask up and, actually go out and shoot at Foolio, okay, from what we're being told. And, she could possibly provide more information on other individuals that she knew or knows that could have possibly been involved with the Julio Foolio murder. And altogether, people who conspired, behind the scenes to get Foolio up out of here, right? So at the same time, could she do that? Yeah, possibly. That's a big, big probability that she could, definitely turn state evidence against all other suspects in this Foolio murder trial. Now, another interesting thing about this whole deal is that when Isiah Andrews waived her right to speedy trial and rushed this whole process, they're saying that her trial could start as soon as January of 2025. That's the beginning of next year, right? And with the ones that's not facing the death penalty, which Isiah Andrews isn't, right? So that would leave Isiah Chance by himself, okay? His will start in April of 2025. And then you have the other suspects who are indeed facing the death penalty. I said, that will be Sean Gaithright, Davion Murphy, and Rashad Murphy, right? So those suspects there that are facing the death penalty, they court, their trial date will actually start and begin in December of 2026 as stated, right? So, these are very, stretched out dates, but with the earliest dates, seeing suspects come forward and actually being tried for these crimes, That starts next year, January, with Isiah Andrews. Now, with Isiah Andrews rushing this whole trial, okay, the judge told all the attorneys there that she's not going to give them all 2 bites at the apple, meaning that they're going to have to, whatever Isiah Andrews' attorney comes up with for the trial in January, right? All the attorneys have to be all aligned and all on the same page, and whoever she questions, right? Whatever witnesses that she uses in, that trial for Isiah Andrews against Foolio in the state, right? They're going to have to question those same witnesses and get depositions at the same time that this first attorney, right, takes a shot at those witnesses. Because, like I said, the judge is saying she's not going to give all these attorneys chances at, repeatedly, questioning all these witnesses that, potentially could be involved in the trial. Okay. So, that right there is going to slow down a lot of, progress for a lot of these lawyers, and they have to speed up, these depositions and get all these testimonies, lined up for when they do go to trial, like I said, with Chance later on in April of 2025, and the other ones who are facing the death penalty, the other 3 in December of 2026. So like I said, this is, good news probably for the suspects, because, that's basically putting a rush on things. And, they say they have over 300 pages in a police report. Now, I don't think we, knew that at first, because we only got so many pages. I only had access to a couple of pages that were put online, right? But 300 pages of discovery in a police report is very, very, telling on what actually went on and how it all went down. But, they're saying they have to go over this. So with all this being rushed, are they going to have time to go over 300 pages in a police report? And, they say they have over dozens of witnesses they got to, question. Well, hey, man, it's possible, but they need to get to work fast, because, December is almost here. Then it'll be January. And then Isiah Andrews' lawyer will have to have all her ducks in a row and all the witnesses that she plans on questioning, right? And getting statements from, right? Depositions and all this right here. All the other lawyers have to question those same witnesses at the same time, even way before the trial dates for them are set. So, like I said, this could, work in the suspect's favor. And at the same time, we shall keep our eyes on this. But like I said, man, these boys facing the death penalty, the shooters are, right? And luckily, Isiah Chance and this girl, she's pregnant. Luckily that they aren't, facing the death penalty. But they will be facing a hefty amount of time behind the crime, the murder of Julio Foolio. So y'all keep it locked to OG Jucario TV for the latest in rap, hip hop, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spinning with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deeper than Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.